Hello there, welcome to HolyWiki Recaps. Recaps in which we just don't give quick recaps of movies and series, but also we explain and break down story of movies and TV series. We give detailed explanation. And still try our best to keep the length of video short so you don't get bored. And in today's video we will explain Malignant movie. So if you haven't watched movie yet, we will recommend you to watch it. Because video is full of spoilers. So with that's it, let's begin the explanation. Movie opens in 1993 in Simeon Research Hospital, where a doctor named Florence Weaver is making a recording explaining medical condition of one of her patient. She explains that they are treating a psychiatric patient named Gabriel. She also explains that Gabriel has special powers like controlling electricity and broadcasting his thoughts via speakers. One night, Gabriel turns violent and kills several staff members of the institution. After a long struggling, Dr. Florence manages to stop Gabriel with sleeping injection. And when other doctors asks her, "What should we do now?" she replies with, "Now it's a time to cut the cancer."
It's time. We cut out the cancer.
28 years later, a pregnant woman, Madison Lake, is living in Seattle. After enduring 2 years of miscarriages which has affected her marriage life with her husband, Derek Mitchell. As Madison already had 2 miscarriages. Yet she wants to try for a kid, on which Derek has given up on. During an argument, Derek smashes Madison's head against a wall. Derek realizes his mistake and goes to take the 8 kid for her treatment. After which she locks herself in the bedroom and falls asleep. Meanwhile downstairs, Derek wakes up because of strange noise, which he later finds to be of a mixer. He turns it off, but eventually a refrigerator door opens on its own. He closes the refrigerator door, and when heads back to couch, he sees a mysterious figure sitting there. When he turns on the light, the mysterious figure vanishes. But that mysterious figure was standing behind him, who attacks him. Madison after having a bad dream of a man entering in their house and killing Derek. She wakes up to check Derek downstairs. Only to find Derek's body. The killer, still being in the house, attacks Madison, rendering her unconscious. The next morning, Madison wakes up in a hospital. And is informed by her sister, Sydney, that her unborn baby didn't survive the attack. On the other hand, 2 detectives, Detectives Shaw and Regina, are investigating Derek's murder. As he is killed brutally, which does not exactly looks like a case of break-in. Detective Shaw visits Madison at hospital, where for now she is in no condition of answering any questions. Where Shaw explains that it would be difficult for anyone, as she had total 3 miscarriages in last 3 years, which even Sydney didn't knew about. Sydney didn't knew that she had been pregnant before and she had miscarriages before. After being interviewed by police detective Shaw and his partner Regina, Madison returns home. In morgue, Detective Regina explains to Detective Shaw that Derek was abusive husband and she believes that Madison killed Derek. That same hour, Gabriel kidnaps a woman running the Seattle Underground tour. Gabriel after kidnapping, that woman holds her captive and tells her that he has waited for this for a long time. Then he calls Dr. Weaver and uses the words, "Now it's time to cut the cancer." On which Dr. Weaver in a second realizes that who he is. Later that night, Madison while doing a laundry sees a vision of Dr. Weaver on which she asks who she is. And eventually a reality alters, taking her into Dr. Weaver's house. She tries to move, but she is somehow paralyzed. I mean she cannot move. She is at her own house, but somehow is able to see everything happening in Dr. Weaver's house. Where Gabriel kills Dr. Weaver with her trophy and takes trophy along with him. Next morning Madison sees a news of Dr. Weaver's murder. On which she explains that she saw a vision of Dr. Weaver dying. Which for now, Sydney ignores as her trauma. After all she has been through a lot. During their investigation, Shaw and Moss discover a photo of a child in Weaver's house and learn that she is specialized in child reconstructive surgery and takes all her files for investigation. Detective Shaw gives one of his colleague a picture of that little girl and asks him to age this picture to at least 30 years. Madison on same night again sees a vision in which she sees a man named Victor Fields. Just like she saw Dr. Weaver, she again sees a Gabriel. who kills Dr. Victor brutally. After waking up from that nightmare, she explains everything to Sydney, where Sydney finds a blot on her pillow. Madison and Sydney approach the police explaining them everything, which Detective Regina does not take seriously. But Sydney somehow manages to convince them that they should at least check Dr. Victor in his apartment. Madison also knows the location, as when she saw a vision of Dr. Victor being murdered, she also saw a building's name from the window. On location, in Dr. Victor's apartment, Detective Shaw and Regina finds his dead body. Madison helps sketch artist to draw a picture of the person that she saw killing Dr. Victor, where she draws a distorted figure. Madison, while refreshing, Gabriel contacts her, causing her to remember her past. From nowhere, Madison says Gabriel, which even she is confused about, as how she know this name. Madison takes her sister and leaves to visit their mother, Jean, to learn more, where detective sees an aged picture of that little girl. And that little girl is none other than Madison. On the other hand, Madison asks her mother who is Gabriel, on which even she is shocked. Then all of them watch childhood videos of Madison, a time when Sydney wasn't born. And just to be clear, Madison was adopted. Sydney and Jean are not her biological relatives. They watch a video of Madison's 9th birthday, from which Madison realizes that Gabriel wasn't her imaginary friend, but someone real with whom she talked to during her childhood. Meanwhile, Shaw finds a link between the doctors and Madison, as all those doctors who treated Madison in her childhood are now dead, and only Dr. Gregory is left, which leads him to find Dr. Gregory. At the same time, Madison again sees a vision of Gabriel, this time killing Dr. Gregory. Detective Shaw discovers Gregory's dead body, where Madison in her vision tries to warn him that Gabriel is still in the bathroom, where Gabriel attacks Shaw, but Detective Shaw manages to get upper hand in a fight, injuring Gabriel and making him run, where after long chase, he finally manages to catch Gabriel, during which he sees his distorted face and his acrobatic skills, proving Gabriel is something non-human. But Gabriel again manages to escape. The detectives enlist the help of a psychiatrist in hopes of unlocking Madison's memories. Madison recalls that her birth name is actually Emily May, and that Gabriel wanted her to kill her unborn sister. She almost came close to doing it, where Gabriel made her see a vision of cutting a cake. But instead she almost cut her mother, but was able to stop. At the same time, a woman that Gabriel captured manages to free herself, but falls from the attic. And turns out she was held captive in attic of Madison's house. The police arrest Madison, believing that she is a killer and Gabriel is just her imagination for justifying her killings. Sydney visits the now locked Simeon Hospital, from where she steals the tapes of Madison. She and her mother watch all tapes one by one. And now it's a moment of truth. They find that Serena May, who is Madison's biological mother, never died after giving birth to Madison. In fact, she was a teenager who became pregnant after being raped. They find that Gabriel is none other than Emily's twin brother, who lives inside her body as an extreme version of a teratoma, sharing the same brain as Emily. Weaver operated on Emily to cut out the parasitic twin and sewed Gabriel back into her brain, as removing brain could have killed Madison. He was dormant during her childhood but woke up when Derek smashed her head in. Gabriel, provoked by fellow inmates in the lockup, takes control of Madison's body, slaughters them and almost the entire precinct with superhuman strength and agility, eventually leaving with his clothing and weapon by almost killing Shaw and Regina. But they are approached by one of their mates, where Regina asks Shaw to go and save Serena. And we also get to know that the woman that Gabriel kidnapped was actually Serena May. Sydney and Shaw intercept Gabriel at the hospital where Serena is admitted. Shaw is severely wounded by Gabriel, and Sydney is pinned to the wall by a thrown hospital bed. Sydney informs Madison that Gabriel is the cause of her miscarriages because he was feeding off her fetuses. Angry at the revelation, Madison wakes up and takes back control of her body, transporting themselves to a black mindscape. Madison locks a disbelieving Gabriel behind bars, saying that she is now the one in control and that Gabriel's powers are hers now. Madison leaves Gabriel to rot in the mindscape, but not before he reveals to her that he will return one day. She states that when he does, she will be ready for him and leaves the mindscape. Back in the hospital and in full control of her body, Madison removes Gabriel's coat in the hospital bed, pinning Sydney to the wall with her newly acquired superhuman strength. Madison hugs and tells to Sydney that even though she was adopted and thus not related by blood, She was her sister all along and proud to be so. And movie ends here. Now let me clarify some of your doubts related to movie. First question must be, why Madison was seeing those visions? Well, simple answer is Madison was not seeing visions of others dying. In fact, her body was always there at the crime scene, being controlled by Gabriel. That was another reason that every time, after seeing a murder, there was blood at the back of her head. As Gabriel comes out from back of her head by ripping her heads back. And when his work is done, he goes back inside, leaving no trace. As he was weak at that time. And Madison's consciousness was very strong, but during the prison scene, when she lost all hope, Gabriel completely took control over her body. And if in the end, if she was not able to free herself, then she would have been trapped in her own mind forever. But luckily she was able to set herself free. So, what do you think about this movie? Some people are not liking this movie as they think it wasn't horror, as it was a slasher movie. But let me clarify one thing. That Malignant is not a horror or slasher movie. In fact, it is a sci-fi movie. Overall, this was a very good entertaining movie. What you think about this movie must leave your thoughts down in comment section. So let's end this video here. But before that, we have a small request that if you want to watch more recap and ending explanation videos like this, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell icon to stay notified for latest videos.